School can be hard. Having barriers in your education can be even harder. How do we get through that? Let's talk.
Hi everyone, I'm here with Tony, our Access and Transition Support Officer. Hi Tony.
Hey Latara, thanks for having me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on.
It's a pleasure.
I am excited to hear about the apprenticeship.
Yeah, so I wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about accessible learning services and our apprenticeship students. I think there's some misinformation out there, not enough information, so we wanted to be able to get some info out to those apprentice students that will be coming in for the 2023-24 year.
And even beyond that, because apprenticeships is rough.
It really is, and it can be a difficult time for students for the 8 to 10 weeks that they might be here.
Yes.
Figuring out the unemployment, the schoolwork.
And even just figuring out learning strategies and technology is something that we can help with. And you help with so much. So what do you do, girl?
Okay, so for starters, if you are an apprentice and you're coming into Mohawk College, my first piece of advice is to attend your orientation, whether it's the get ready for training night, whether it's the first day orientation. You've got all your supports there. They're ready to help you out. We can talk you through anything, walk you through what needs to be done. So that would be the first thing to do, is prepare for school, come to prep meetings, any orientations that you are invited to.
Orientation, yes. Especially to get to know everything and just kind of even to just get the layout and any information, because at least some of that is going to stick. And you're going to be like, okay, I need to do this, this, and this.
Yes, especially because Stoney Creek Campus looks awfully small from the outside, but it's quite big inside. And that's probably our number one complaint, is that it's bigger than they expected. And they've got a difficult time trying to figure out where to go.
It is difficult to navigate, especially when you're already under pressure.
Exactly. The second thing is accessible learning services is not just for students who maybe have a learning disability, or they had an IEP when they were in high school or elementary school. But for us at Mohawk College Accessible Learning Services, we support all students. So that's students who maybe have ADHD, who maybe have some addiction issues, mental health, anxiety. We've seen a total increase in student concerns since COVID, especially surrounding anxiety, coming to school. We support students who maybe don't have the knowledge of internet, Zoom, technology
help. Even just getting to know using all of these new things, like my Mohawk, my Canvas, figuring out how to get into your courses, figuring out how to use those platforms to your advantage, and having say something like a PDF read out loud to you can be so helpful. And it's just one button click, and we can help you with that and so many other things.
Exactly. A lot of the time what we hear is, I've never had to use Zoom before, or my wife, my partner, my kids put me on, signed me into it. I've never had to do it by myself. We hear a lot about not realizing that they had a Mohawk email, and that their Mohawk email is different than their My Canvas sign-in. So we do help navigate, and we've got some learning strategists.
That's me.
That will really support the students and help them navigate all of this new technology.
And not just navigate the new technology, but we can also help set up your apprenticeship for success by kind of planning out when things are coming up and when things are due and maybe when you should study, even helping you create a study plan. There's so many things that we can help you with that can set you up for success, even if you're not good with technology, even if you're great with technology. Like, we are here to support and help you in whatever way we can.
That's right. And a lot of the times other accommodations come into play. So a lot of the time we hear students who possibly need extra time for tests. They have a difficult time processing what the test is asking in the amount of time that they have for that test. They want an isolated area to write the test in because that clicking of a friend's pen or the tapping of foot is enough to distract them from what's in front of them. A lot of the time, too, we have students that come to us who do need extra support with the hands-on portion of their program. So getting that extra time in the labs to ensure that they have the skills needed for when they go out into the field. We have students that come to us because they want their materials in advance so that they can review it before going into class. We understand that with our apprenticeship students especially, it's a lot of information in a few weeks condensed down for you. And with families and work-life balance, it's a lot to manage.
Overwhelming. It's overwhelming to just be a student in general. And then you add on different layers of other stressors or just tasks and responsibilities. That's why we're here. We're here to help you with that.
Exactly. So we have a ton of accommodations. We really do ensure that they're individualized, so we can go through some of the common ones that students come to see us for, but until you're actually meeting with a counselor and we get an idea of the way you learn, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, we really can't tell you everything that we can put into place. We also have one-off, so maybe you go onto our ALS website at Mohawk College and you can review some of the accommodations that are there. However, that's not a list of everything that we provide.
Yes.
We do provide individualized accommodations for each student's needs.
And there is also possibilities of like weekly meetings with someone like myself, a learning strategist, or Tony, where we can just kind of see where we're at and see where we can go and what kind of things that we can do, even if it's just to talk about assignments, even if it's just to set up like a study schedule. Like, we are here to help you.
Exactly. I think the weekly meetings are important. It's a way for students to check in.
Yeah.
Then they feel accountable to somebody, which also helps sometimes. It helps with that executive functioning, with the organization, with the time management, with the initiating. They know that they've got the assignment, but they just kind of put it on that back burner because they've got 5 other things that need to take priority. So those weekly meetings do help students.
Yes.
And again, you might start with weekly meetings and then you get into it and you maybe don't feel like you need them all the time.
It's so helpful in the beginning. That's what some of our students do, is the weekly meetings for like 2-3 weeks. And then like we take it from there. Do we want to keep it up or do you want to just come in whenever?
Exactly. Here at the Stoney Creek Campus, with our apprenticeship students, they're lucky because we do have somebody in our office 5 days a week, so they can walk in, they can book appointments right in person, so you don't have to worry about doing it online if you don't want. If you need to drop in, there's drop-in times, usually ideally during lunch or after classes, so that you can pop in if you got questions or concerns that you want answered.
And so what if someone doesn't have like a actual diagnosis of something, or what if they think they need these services but they don't have any paperwork?
That's an awesome question, and something that I feel needs to be put out there is that if you have no documentation, that's okay. We've got a medical documentation form that we can print out for you. We can send you the link. You can send it to your family physician or any healthcare practitioner that you might see who could answer some questions for you. As well as with our apprenticeship, we do have resources for assessments to be done that are free of charge for those students.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yes, and a lot of the time it's a great way, even as an adult, to find out like, oh yeah, I knew there was something. I used to get extra time, but I don't know why. Or I had an IEP, but I don't know why I had it.
I mean, like, who doesn't want an assessment?
Exactly.
Right? Like, I want to know how I learn. I want to know, like, why my focus is affected and how do I go, where do I go from here? And being an adult learner can be very empowering because we have a different mindset and we're not like young people anymore. We want to know ourselves. We want to know how we work best. So let's figure that out together.
Yes, and I love that piece about the assessments. I love the fact that we can offer that to students. I think it's really beneficial. We have other assessments too that our accessibility counselors can do for you just to get an idea of some of your learning, a little bit of your background, your history, to help for when you do those assessments, to give the assessor a bit more information about you. Another great thing to point out too is that our services are 100% confidential.
And free.
Which helps.
Yeah. So come in and see us, Latara and Tony.
Yeah, we're located at C104 here at Stoney Creek.
Or you can just go anywhere and ask for accessible learning services, or you can just give us a call or email als@mohawkcollege.ca and ask for more information about apprenticeships.
You can subscribe to the Accessible Learning Services YouTube channel for more.